Here I am 50 years old and it's finally making sense to me. And I am so excited to see where this next year brings me.
It's a journey for life and I'm your ride. Hang on, we'll be long gone. Hang on.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another chat video. It's been a long time since we've sat down and had a little chat. I mentioned in my last video, I've been really wanting to sit down and chat with you all about a couple things, and a few things actually, not a couple, and I just haven't had the time. So I'm gonna try to get through in some kind of order some things I want to talk about. Honestly, this video is probably going to be all over the place because I don't do a script. I don't write or type anything out. I just get on here and start talking and share with you things from the heart. So before I get started, first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi. I do want to make sure to put a disclaimer, like I usually do when I have these chat videos, that the things that I'm sharing are just my own personal opinions and views. My channel is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not an expert in anything as far as being a doctor, a nurse, a dietitian, or anything like that. So please understand that the things that I'm sharing are just my personal opinions. They're just things that are working for me, things I've noticed about my own body. You have to do what's right for you. You have to pay attention to your own body. Please work with your own doctor or dietitian to see what works for you, because we are all different, and that's what I kind of want to talk about today. So let me start by saying, for the first time in a long time, I am feeling incredible. But I haven't been doing any filming because over this past month, I've really been working on myself, and I'm back to feeling good again. I've actually lost weight. The only reason I know is because I had a doctor's appointment and saw that I've lost 7 pounds this month. But I didn't need the scale to tell me that I feel good. And the best thing about it is I did it from listening to my body, from upping my calories, from going to full fat cheese and full fat dairy, just doing some different things that they're kind of different than things that I've learned. So I want to share all that with you. So because I have so many new viewers, let me just kind of backtrack from a couple years ago when I started my channel. My husband and I actually started the Weight Watchers program in 2019, early 2019. I had done it years back when I was in my 30s. And for the record, I am 50 years old. I am postmenopausal, and I am only 5 foot tall. Barely 5 foot tall. I'm actually 4'11 3/4. So back in my 30s, I had actually done Weight Watchers very successfully, and well, I say successfully in that I lost 93 pounds, became a lifetime member, but I did not learn anything. So when I went around to it this time in 2019, of course, by this point, I had now gained all my weight back and then some. And when we went into it in 2019, I said, I'm gonna go into it with a different mindset this time. It was gonna be more about health rather than losing weight. But who was I kidding? It was about losing weight. It was about not necessarily just vanity. Of course, I wanted to look good, but it was this time a lot more to do with health. And I really wanted to try to learn, to eat healthier. I pretty much knew, and I've always been one who loves fruits and vegetables and lean meat. So that's never really been an issue for me. I mean, for me to sit down and have a great big tossed salad with a bunch of healthy fats and proteins and things like that, and that was just the norm for me. So I've been very fortunate there. But I wanted to learn more about health and wellness and just everything that went with it. So my husband and I, like I said, 2019, we did very well. I had gotten up to like around 50 pounds lost. My husband lost about 70. So my husband is in maintenance and he's kept his weight off. He does not do the WW program anymore. He doesn't count calories. He's just very, very active at work. So it kind of works for him. So that's him. And then there's me. 2020 came around and COVID came, and just the whole mental health thing with COVID. And then I ended up with COVID very, very sick. I was very sick for 2 weeks. So that was 2020. After that, I started having some issues with the smell and taste of food, and I was just really struggling. So then the holidays came, got through the holidays, and then 2021 hit, and I ended up in a pretty bad flare on and off for most of 2021. I have a disease called ulcerative colitis. For those of you who don't know, it is the sister to Crohn's disease. It's an inflammatory bowel disease. Basically, I have bleeding ulcers in my large intestines. So when I'm in a flare, those ulcers bleed, and I have to be very careful of some of the foods that I eat. So anytime I went into a flare, I would go to my GI doctor, and it's always been the same thing. No nuts, no seeds, no fruits, no vegetables. I can have some vegetables if they're cooked real well. No skins on anything, no skins on potatoes, no skins on vegetables, no whole wheat, no greens, no dairy. So I was literally eating white bread, white rice, white pasta. So I was just eating a lot of refined carbs, and my body doesn't like that, especially when I'm not having all that other good stuff with it. Like, I literally stopped eating salads, and salads are such a big part of my daily life. I love having a great big salad. And so when I'm in a flare, I don't do that. I was going through many different medications that have bad side effects with my body. He was trying to, see what medications would work. So it's just the mind games that it plays with you. So I was just very frustrated. So in 2021, I said, forget it. I'm done. I'm going to try and just figure things out myself. Listen to dietitians and my regular primary care doctor and see what I can come up with. So during this time, I was still technically following the WW program and counting calories because I was sharing the points and the calories in my videos with everybody. But what I did is put my app on maintain. I didn't want the goal to be to lose weight because my goal was, let's get my gut health back to normal. And it was just really too hard for me to worry about points on some things because I was limited on things that I could eat. So I didn't really want to focus too much on the points and calories of things. My goal was, let me just try to learn what my body likes and just kind of go from there. So in doing that, I went through a year of just a whole bunch of stuff. I was trying different things to see what worked for my body. I was always under the impression that low carb is best. Low carb works best for me, and I'm finding that that's not necessarily the case. So then I decided that I really wanted to learn more about nutrition and the impact everything has on the body. So I started studying to be a nutrition coach through NASM, which is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So I took the nutrition coach program, and then I also took another one to be specialized in behavior modification, because I really feel like the two go hand in hand with, learning about modifying our behaviors. And that was kind of what I was learning. I was taking this for me, not necessarily to be a coach to anyone. I wanted just to do it for myself. I wanted it to coach myself and to learn kind of some of my behaviors. So I've actually completed the program except for taking the test to get my certification. So I plan on doing that probably within the next couple months. Like I said, I'm not in any big hurry. I'm not trying to start a business out of it or anything. I just was doing it for myself. In the meantime, I was working on my mental health, and I was making sure that I was getting more sleep at night. I was moving more. That was one thing. I've committed to strength training 3 mornings a week, and then I'm just making sure that I'm moving as much as possible. So that's kind of a background of everything. So based on all that, now where I stand today is I did put my app back in the weight loss mode, but I still struggle with that number on the scale, because I know I've told you all so many times, the scale that number doesn't mean anything. It is just a guide. It's not truly about how much weight you lose in a week. It's not, you can be holding water. There's so many different things, and I've always kind of hated that scale. So one thing I've found with doing WW and calories is Weight Watchers has always, you hear some people say, Weight Watchers is a proven low calorie diet. Weight Watchers is proven to be low fat. And I disagree with that because I have found that I can definitely have high fat days and still follow the WW program. So I don't necessarily believe that. I think that it depends on the foods that you eat and your 0 point foods. So because I have so many 0 point foods and things like avocado are one of my 0 point foods, at the end of the day, when I look at my macros, I've had days where 50% of what I've eaten is in the form of fat. And I'm still within my points on WW. Now, granted, they're healthy fats, so I really don't worry about it. It's not, like I'm eating a whole bunch of saturated fat. So I really don't believe, I think that you can, in fact, make Weight Watchers be a program that is higher in calories. It doesn't have to be a low calorie diet. And for me, being only 5 foot tall, I've always been told, oh, just don't eat more than 1,200 calories and you'll be okay. I don't want that. I don't want that for me. I don't want to only eat 1,200 calories for the rest of my life. So what did I do different this month? I've increased my calories and I'm eating full fat things like full fat yogurt, full fat cottage cheese, full fat dairy. I'm just not doing the fat-free, reduced fat-free stuff anymore. Once in a while I might use reduced fat, but for the most part, I'm just using regular full fat dairy. I am eating tons of fruits and vegetables. I've been just kind of moderation with everything. I'm following the 80-20 rule. I am not being anal with ingredient lists. Honestly, I'm so over it. It's just too much on your mental health. The anxiety that it causes to read all the ingredients on a label when I only eat that stuff 20% of the time is just crazy to me. I feel like if you want to be 100% clean eater, kudos to you. That is great. I commend you for that. For me personally, I am never going to be 100% clean eater. I'm just not. And I'm so over the trends. I'm over, you don't know what to believe. I am just not going to listen to fruits are bad because they have too much sugar, and don't eat these vegetables unless they're cooked, and don't eat red meat, and don't eat past a certain time, and you can't eat when you first get up, and all this stuff that has been, all this information we're being fed is just, it's a lot. It's a lot on your mental health, your anxiety. So I'm just so over all that. So I am halfway through this book called Intuitive Eating, and I will link this book down below, but it's amazing. It really is. It's amazing all the things that I have learned over the years. I sit here and say, oh, I'm not on a diet. People say something to me, oh, you're watching what you're eating, you're on a diet. And I've always said, no, I'm not on a diet. This is a lifestyle for me. But honestly, as long as I'm counting calories, counting points, counting macros, whatever the case may be, it is in a sense a form of a diet. I mean, it really is. And I got thinking, I was 14 years old the first time I went on a diet. Some of you may remember they were called diet workshops, and they were all over the US. My grandmother actually worked like the food table. They had their own food there. And so that's how I started going. I went with my grandmother. I was 14 years old and 20 pounds overweight, and I joined it. And I did good, and I lost my 20 pounds at 14. And that was the start of my bad relationship with food, I guess you could say. So then it was just an up and down battle since I was 14 years old. And like I said, I'm almost 51. I'll be 51 in August. And it just makes me think, I'm just learning so many things from reading this book about, I think I always thought that I was like I'm a different dieter. I'm more the professional dieter. I'm doing it for health. And somebody says, do fasting, do intermittent fasting. And I think, well, I'm never hungry in the morning anyways. So I kind of do intermittent fasting. And then when I read this book, I realized that what I was doing was masking my hunger with water and coffee in the morning. So the first thing I always do when I get up is have a couple glasses of water. And then right after that, I start drinking my coffee, which has my creamer in it and everything. And Then I don't usually eat until maybe 11 o'clock. And I've always felt like, okay, the longer I can go without eating, then I don't have to start tracking until later in the day. The other morning, got up early with my husband and I did a really hard strength training workout and increased the weights that I was using and just did a really good workout. Felt real good. And after I got done, I was sitting there drinking my water and I'm getting ready for work. And I was listening to my body and my stomach was growling. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning. So previously I would have just ignored that and that was it. I immediately went in the kitchen. I made 2 eggs. I had a piece of sourdough toast with avocado on it. I used some olive oil in the eggs. I had a half a banana. I ate all that at 7 o'clock in the morning before I went to work. And I had no issues with my gut. And my body felt so good. So it was like I was fueling my body. So I get to work and about an hour later, I was starting to get hungry a little bit. Again, without reading this book, the old me would have been like, see, that's why I shouldn't be hungry when I just ate an hour ago. That's why I don't eat breakfast in the morning. Always used to say that. I don't eat breakfast in the morning because it makes me hungry later. I was hungry an hour later because I did such a hard workout that morning that my body was telling me it needed more fuel. So I ended up eating cottage cheese. I had the Good Culture cottage cheese, which has 19 grams of protein in it. I used the full fat kind. And then I had a small kiwi with that. And then I was good. I didn't think about food again. My stomach didn't give me any signs until 4 hours later. So not by choice, but personally for me, that's kind of like meal spacing, which is good for my digestive issues. It's good for me to have some kind of meal spacing. So I'm just learning a lot and I don't know. I don't know what this means for me at this point. I'm just sharing with you. Basically, I'm 50 years old. I've been dieting since I was 14. I have pretty much ruined my metabolism by restricting myself through the years and doing low calorie diets on and off. So for my next 50 years, because I always tell my husband I'm gonna live to be 100, I don't want the next 50 years to be focused on counting calories and counting points and consuming so much of my time figuring out the points and calories of something. I want to learn to eat by listening to my body. I now am at a point where I truly believe that I know the foods that are good for my body. I know the foods that I need to fuel my body. So for me personally, what works best for me is balance. I need to have protein. I need to have healthy fats. I need to have carbs, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. And I also need 20% is maybe ice cream with my grandson or going out to dinner with my husband and having something that I wouldn't normally have. And I just need to bring it all together and have balance. And I need to be just making sure I'm getting my sleep at night and making sure that I'm moving. I don't have to do strenuous exercise. If I get up in the morning and my body hurts, my joints hurt, which is sometimes what I get from my disease, I'm not gonna push myself to lift weights that day. I'm gonna listen to my body and I'm just gonna be the best me that I can be. What does that mean for my channel? Honestly, I don't know. I've toyed with changing the name of my channel to something like Planning is Balanced or something, because I don't know, there's just something about that word healthy. It's just, for me and you, it can mean two different things. And I don't know. Does it mean that I'm not gonna share WW points and calories? Right now, it does not mean that I'm gonna stop sharing those. I have no plans at this moment to stop doing the WW plan or to stop, tracking calories and sharing those. I just don't know what the future holds. I obviously my ultimate goal is to be an intuitive eater, and to do that, I can't do that for myself and share points and calories for you, because otherwise the points and calories are still there. They're still in my mind and I'm still thinking about them. So at this point, I'm gonna just kind of continue what I'm doing. I'm gonna finish reading this intuitive eating book, and I'll see where it takes me. So let me know in the comments where you see yourself, like say in the next 5 years. Where are you right now? Is it about weight loss for you? Is it about just getting healthy? Is it about looking skinny? Because society is sure putting that in our face, that's for sure. Everything over the last year and a half has just been really eye-opening, and I've just learned so much, and I've done so many different things, and I feel so good. I feel good with the direction that I'm going for me personally. I hope that you all will stick around. I hope you all will stay with my channel, but at the same time, I totally understand if at some point my channel becomes something that just isn't working for you. And as much as I hate to see anybody go, because you all have become friends to me, one piece of advice that I would give you is if you're watching somebody's channel or you're following somebody on social media that doesn't make you feel good about who you are and who you want to be in the future, stop following them. Don't follow them anymore, because it's not good for your mental health. It's not good. You have to follow the people who make you feel good about who you are. You have to follow the people who their beliefs and their values align with the person that you are. Remember, don't follow somebody because you want to be like them. You are you, and you are an amazing person. You are your own unique person. You don't need to be like anybody else. I used to think that. I used to watch people and think, why can't that be me? Why can't it? Because I'm me, and I love me. I would not change me for anything. At the same time, there are things that I want to do to make a better me, and I want to get ideas from some of those other people who make me feel good, but I don't want to be like them. I want to be me and just get some inspiration from them. So I just really encourage you to look down deep inside yourself and find out what it is. What is your passion? What is it you really, really want to do? What things can make you happy? And go through your social media feeds and delete people. And if I'm one of those people, then delete me. If I don't make you feel good after you watch my videos, or you think, oh, I just can't stand listening to her. Like, I get it. If I'm one of those people, I get it. I understand. But we just have to be happy, and we have to try and live every day in the moment. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Just live for today and listen to our bodies. That is the most important thing that I am learning for the first time since I was that 14-year-old girl walking in that first diet workshop. Here I am 50 years old, and it's finally making sense to me. And I am so excited to see where this next year brings me. And that's where I'm at. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe. And thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope to see you in my next one.
It's a journey.